2.0. My name is Cindy, and here's Elijah, the co-host of Speak the Truth 2.0. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe, and think about becoming a special friend to this channel. I know we have millions of people that have viewed our channel, but we need people to subscribe. So you guys, we have goals that we want to meet before the end of the year. So we need your help to meet those goals. But we are so happy to bring you authentic news without interference from mainstream media. So thanks for joining us, and we don't take anyone for granted. Now, Trump, he's having a dinner with five Asians countries, their representatives. And it's like when I look at Trump, he's been more active than any president that I can remember, from the last few, especially the previous administration. I mean, what he has done in the first, 10 months of his administration, he's done more than I think the previous administration. I know that he's held more news conferences because this is like the second time, I think, today that Trump is having some sort of event that he's sharing with us Americans and with the rest of the world. So even if you're against him or you don't like his presidency, because every presidency there's the good, the bad, and the ugly. And some things he does well and some things we're not happy with. But one thing he is a present president. He's there, he shows himself, and he allows the world to come into his Oval Office.
Yeah, and something else I like is that he's an honest president too. Like, he tells it how it is, even if it hurts your feelings. Which,
so you think he's honest? He lies too, though.
Well,
yeah, but you're saying that Trump puts it out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so here he goes, Trump. Looks lovely. Okay, camera people, y'all walking in front. They are truly unorganized. Hi, you guys. Why don't you put in the chat where you guys are watching from? What city, state, or country?
Well, thank you very much, everybody, and I'm delighted to be hosting this group of very, very really distinguished people and leaders. Few leaders can even compete with the people around this table. They're from Central Asia, and it's a magnificent part of the world. It's also a strong part. It's a tough part, and there's nobody tougher or smarter than the people we have gathered tonight. I'd like to thank Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary Rubio, Secretary Bessent, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, Ambassador Sergio Gore, going to India very shortly. Congratulations, Sergio. And Rick Grinnell has always done a fantastic job. Thank you, Rick, very much. And Senators Jim Risch and Steve Daines for being here. We have some other people coming in a little while, very distinguished people. I've just completed a series of outstanding bilateral meetings with these leaders in the Oval Office to discuss our ties with this very important part of the universe. We're strengthening our economic partnerships, improving our security cooperation, and expanding our overall bonds. A tremendous amounts of trade was done just in the last little while. Lots of great products, military products and otherwise, are being bought from the United States. We make the best military equipment by far in the world, and they understood it, really have understood it for a while, ever since I've been in office, where we rebuilt completely our military. I want to thank all of the leaders for being here and for their dedication to a strong relationship with the USA. The nations of Central Asia, known as the C5, sit at the historical and geographic crossroads of the world. These nations were once home to the ancient Silk Road connecting east and west. Great history, tremendous, beautiful history. Today, their location in the heart of Eurasia gives them incredible importance and unbelievable potential. Sadly, previous American presidents neglected this region completely It's an unbelievable region, and by the way, it happens to be an extremely wealthy region too. But we are fixing that mistake, and I'm committed to making America's partnership with each of these countries stronger than ever before. And I've had a relationship long before this. We've had a great relationship with some of the leaders sitting at the table, and I understand the importance of this region. One of the most important regions. A lot of people don't know that or didn't know that. One of the key items on our agenda is critical minerals. In recent weeks, my administration has strengthened American economic security by forging agreements with allies and friends across the world to broaden our critical mineral supply chains. We had a great relationship and a great meeting with President Xi of China. And we went to also, as you know, our new and fantastic Prime Minister of Japan. If you take a look, what we've done is pretty amazing. We were with the President of South Korea. We went to Malaysia and lots of other places, and had a lot of meetings while in South Korea, and I think it was a tremendous period of time. We took in at least $2 trillion pouring into our country. There's never been anything like it. We have almost $18 trillion of investment, and by the time we finish out our first year, we probably will have about 20 or 21 trillion with a T, trillion dollars of investment, and there's never been anything like that in the history of the world, not just the United States. If this is really the world we're talking about, nor has anything been close. It's a great honor. I've had a very talented team next to me, but it's a great honor to have that kind of economic power. This was helped greatly by tariffs. It was helped greatly by November 5th, which was the election, presidential election. But our countries and the countries that we're dealing with, they're promoting security, stability, and everything else that you can imagine for the entire world. 3 months ago, my administration also brokered a historic peace agreement between nearby Armenia and Azerbaijan, one of the 8 wars that we ended in 8 months. At that time, 8 months, we're looking to end one more, if that's possible, Russia and Ukraine. We haven't gotten there yet, but I think we've made a lot of progress. As I said at the time, that historic accord includes the construction of the new Trump route. It's such a beautiful thing. They named it after me. I really appreciate it. It's actually a big deal. But it's the new Trump route for international peace. This is a road that's being carved and goes through some of the most important places anywhere in the world, some of the most important places economically also anywhere in the world, which will boost commercial activity on the other side of the Caspian Sea, helping nations throughout Central Asia. I'm optimistic that each of the countries here today will reap the benefits of peace if they embrace the opportunity that we've unleashed with the agreement. Some of the countries we're talking about and some of the countries represented here are going to be joining the Abraham Accords, the Abraham Accord, and that those announcements will be made over the next little while. The Abraham Accords are very sought after right now. We're going to be announcing some very important countries that are joining, and for Jared and for Steve Woodcoff, we appreciate the great job you've done. This evening, I'm also delighted to report that Kazakhstan has officially agreed, and that's official now, as of about 15 minutes ago. A tremendous country with a tremendous leader has officially joined the Abraham Accords. And I just want to thank you, Mr. President. It's a great honor. It's a tremendous honor to have you. Really great. Once again, I'm grateful that each of these respected leaders has made the trip to Washington, and I'm delighted to continue our conversation over dinner. We're going to have a little working dinner, a short one. They've been flying a long way. It's a long flight, but we're going to have a quick but very fruitful dinner. I want to thank the media. You covered it very fairly, and it's really a great honor to be with these incredible leaders. These are highly respected people, and there's no games. They don't play games, I want to tell you that. So maybe I'd like to ask you, Mr. President, to say a few words if you'd like, and we can go through the list of the 5, and then we'll have a little dinner, please.
Mr. President, first of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to you for convening this truly historic meeting at the White House. And under your steadfast leadership, this summit marks the beginning of a new era of interaction between the United States and Central Asia. Precisely 1 year ago, you achieved a landslide victory in historic election which was absolutely clean and fair. And once again, my congratulations.
Thank you.
And my strong belief that, Mr. President, you are the great leader, statesman, sent by heaven to bring common sense and traditions that we all share and value back into the United States policy, either domestic or foreign. Therefore, millions of people in so many countries are so grateful to you. And I'm convinced that your wise and bold policy needs to be strongly supported worldwide.
Thank you.
Under your presidency, America is ushering in a new golden age. I commend your far-sighted vision of making America great again. This inspires me to pursue target-oriented strategy towards building just and strong Kazakhstan on the basis of my concept, law and order. As President of Peace, you, Mr. Trump, brought to an end 8 wars just within 8 months. Thus, you have evidently reinforced America, its role as a pillar of international stability. Mr. President, I highly appreciate your unwavering support to advancing Kazakh-American multifaceted cooperation. As early as in your first term in the White House, our relations have been legally fixed as enhanced strategic partnership. United States is the largest investor with over $100 billion in our economy as its perpetuum mobile. Our trade turnover has doubled in recent years and is approaching $5 billion. We cover almost 25% of America's domestic uranium demand. Kazakhstan has become a home country for 600 American companies. So I think that it's a very good figure. And during my visit alone, our businesses are concluding deals worth over $17 billion, paving the way even greater B2B partnership. So my political will to seize all those unique opportunities, and this will is firm, is irreversible, and I will keep all important issues under my personal attention. I have no doubts that we have very bright future as it comes to our bilateral cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Great job, too. Thank you very much. Please.
Esteemed Mr. Trump, we highly value your personal contribution to reboot process of C5+1. Before that, none of the presidents of United States of America never treated Central Asia as you do. Me personally and all my colleagues are grateful to you. We felt your close attention, your attitude, and it means a lot for us. Thank you very much for that. In reality, indeed, I'd like to repeat myself. I've told you that already. In Uzbekistan, we call you the president of the world. You've done a lot. You were able to stop 8 wars, and I'm convinced that the war between Russia and Ukraine can be only stopped by you, and we are very much hopeful for that. Today's summit shows that the United States of America foresees Central Asia as key partner. Together, we develop future which is based on trust and pursuance to creation. I have number of proposals. We would like to establish a permanent secretariat and place it based on rotations in different countries of Central Asia. Number two, to establish a coordination council on investments and trade, and to provide for the systemic dialogue between public authorities and companies. We think that the idea to establish a Central Asian investment partnership would be a good idea. So we were able to agree on that in 2020. We're ready to continuously work with the US on establishing communication and energy projects, transportation to link Central Asia and Europe, applying and using Trump route. 3-year plan has been established, as I told you already, to implement our investment program for $34 billion. Those are large projects, and we've discussed it with you already, both in New York and today I've mentioned it to you. So we have strong perspective. Once again, I would like to express my deepest gratitude for all that has been already done. And we will take back a lot of results from this summit. It is a landmarking summit, and your attitude towards all of us means your great support to us to strengthen Central Asia and to strengthen the partnership between Central Asia and the US. C5+1 have to become efficient mechanism of our practical partnership, and I propose to host our next summit in 2026 in Samarkand to establish this further. I'm pretty sure that, I'm convinced, Mr. Trump, that under your leadership, it will be a strong partnership. Thank you very much for your attention, and we will be well prepared for the summit in Samarkand.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Please.
President Donald Trump, I thank you very much for the invitation to participate in today's very important high-level commemorative meeting in the format of C5+1, the Central Asia and the United States. You play a remarkable and highly commendable role in ensuring peace and stability in conflict regions around the world, and your peaceful efforts are worthy of praise, and I extend my heartfelt congratulations to you, Mr. President. And today our collaboration, our wide-ranging bilateral cooperation covers different areas: trade, economy, security. As it comes to our security cooperation, we particularly have an excellent cooperation on counterterrorism, fighting extremism and the drug trafficking. Mr. President, over 70 companies with American investment are operating in Tajikistan today, and 93% of my country is mountainous, and we have an abundance of natural resources, particularly water, hydropower, critical minerals and rare earth materials. Tajikistan is a home for 13,000 glaciers, and approximately 60% of Central Asian water resources originate in Tajikistan, and our country is rich in strategically important minerals, including rare earth minerals and critical materials. Tajikistan is a member of both the European Union's Critical Raw Materials Club and the United States Minerals Security Partnership Instrument. And according to the United States Geological Survey, our country ranks the second in the world in terms of antimony production and is currently the largest producer to the United States. In 2024, Tajikistan produced and exported 17,000 tons of metallic antimony, primarily to the United States. And the activities of Anzorb joint venture in Anzorb Metallurgical Company in Tajikistan with American investment by Comsap, American company, exemplify our strong and long-enduring collaboration. However, there are still many opportunities in terms of trade and investment, and we are interested in expanding economic and trade cooperation between our countries. So there is a good opportunity to cooperate in creating new generation of sustainable artificial intelligence data centers. And since we have a brilliant cooperation between our air companies, and since 2008, Tajikistan Somalia company had purchased 8 mid-sized Boeing aircraft with a total volume of $440 million, and this company is expected to receive 2 more modern Boeing 737 MAX 8 aircraft next year, and the total commercial package of Boeing with the Somalia exceeds $3 billion. And American companies, so we have excellent cooperation with American companies over the last 20 years, and the American companies, they're particularly interested in antimony and many rare earth minerals, which Tajikistan has abundant resources, and Tajikistan, among the Central Asian countries, has a very rich, boundless potential and resources in critical minerals, and we are very keen to continue closely our cooperation on security items, which we are so concerned for so far, and I wish you every bit of luck and to your endeavors as a president of peace.
Please.
Dear mass media representatives, for me it's a great pleasure for me to hold a bilateral meeting with President His Excellency Donald Trump to participate in the C5+1. First and foremost, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to President Donald Trump for his kind invitation and warm hospitality and this opportunity to speak about important topics. Kyrgyzstan values the United States of America as one of the important partners in foreign policy. During our bilateral meeting, we discussed some actual topics of the Kyrgyz-US relations, as well as the strengthening cooperation between the Central Asian countries. With regard to Kyrgyz-American relations, I would like to emphasize 4 main areas: economy and investment, including tourism, hydropower development, digital economy, artificial intelligence, and information technology, ensuring peace and security and stability. In this context, I wish to highlight the significant contribution made by President Donald Trump to strengthening global stability and to ending conflicts in different parts of the world. When I started my office of the president, I identified the main priority as resolve border issues with our neighboring states in the spirit of good neighborhoodness. Today, after 5 years, I am pleased to note that together with my counterparts, we have successfully achieved this goal, most importantly through peaceful means. As a result, the role of Central Asia in global politics has grown substantially, and major powers have shown increasing interest in cooperation with the region. The C5+1 format has become an important platform for advancing political dialogue, and I'm very glad about that. I would like to express my special appreciation to Your Excellency President Donald Trump for initiating and hosting today's summit, and we really feel warm hospitality. We highly value this step and regard it as a demonstration of the United States' goodwill and commitment towards Central Asia and friendship. I am confident that our joint efforts will lead to concrete, mutually beneficial outcomes for both nations and people. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please.
I thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I would like to express my deep gratitude, Mr. President, for the invitation to attend this C5 Central Asia plus US Summit. We consider that we recognize the good results they made since the development of this format, and of course we expand the cooperation in such strategically important areas as security, economy, energy, and environment. We believe that the results of this summit will lead us to further expansion of multi-phase cooperation between Central Asia and the United States of America. I do appreciate, Mr. President, for your warm hospitality. I do appreciate.
Thank you very much, and thank everybody. Well, a little more to discuss, but a lot of progress has been made today, and it's a great honor to have you with us in the United States of America. Thank you. And to the media, maybe a couple of questions, ideally on this topic, please. Please.
Kazakhstan and the US have signed over $17 billion in new deals in aviation, minerals, and digital technology. In your view, which area of this partnership matters most? And second question, President Trump, when can we report that you will be the first US president to visit Kazakhstan? When will you be our guest?
I think it's very possible that we'll do that. And I think all of those are very important items when you think of it. Right? It's you never know from year to year. One becomes more important than the other, but they're all important. And your country has great natural resources and a great president. Very great president. Okay, thank you very much. Yes, please.
Vanik amendments. We are just expecting.
What? Say it again.
Jackson Vanik amendments.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
But Jackson Vanik is overdue to be repealed with the help of the president, working with the president. We are going to get that repealed in the very near future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, please.
On this topic, Kazakhstan already has diplomatic relations with Israel. Can you talk about the significance of this agreement in terms of what it would signal to the region as Gaza moves toward rebuilding? And on the shutdown, there's been discussion about potentially a deal, but it would involve rehiring the federal workers who were laid off. What's your opinion of that?
Well, we're going to see about the shutdown. Look, the shutdown is caused by the Democrats, and we're not going to spend $1 trillion or $1.5 trillion on health care for people that came into our country illegally, many of them from prisons and many of them drug dealers and murderers, 11,888 murderers. We're not doing that, so we'll see about that. We shouldn't, they should have, as they've done always in the past, it should have just been extended. It could have been extended very easily, and it should have been. Yes, please.
Significant, sir? Given that they already have diplomatic relations with Israel, what this agreement is supposed to signal?
You want to answer that, please?
Yeah, so I think the diplomatic significance is that it gives great momentum to the Abraham Accords. And to recap for those those who are listening who don't appreciate, the Abraham Accords, of course, is the historic agreement struck by the president in the first term to rebuild the alliance structure and the relationships between Israel and a number of the majority Muslim countries in that region of the world. What the president has done is actually signaled that the momentum of the Abraham Accords is alive and well in the second administration. I think it's not just going to be Kazakhstan, but also a number of other countries that join in the months to come. So it's a great signal, a great act of friendship, and a great sign that the Abraham Accords is alive and well.
Marco?
I think that's the wrong way to analyze it. There's a lot of countries that have diplomatic relations with one another. The Abraham Accords is a partnership. It's an enhanced relationship beyond just diplomatic relations and having embassies in each other's capitals. It is, and it's not just with Israel, it's with all the other countries that are part of the Accord. You're now creating a partnership that brings special and unique economic development on all sorts of issues that they can work on together. So that's really the benefit of it, and the strength of it is to have majority Muslim countries, the Jewish state, able to partner on things to show the world that it is possible.
Essentially, we've really expanded the Abraham Accords, and one of the reasons is we are right now in negotiations or talks with many countries that really wanted to come in, but they couldn't because of the status of Iran. When Iran had a possibility of nuclear weapons, which they do not have now, when Iran was the bully of the Middle East, let's call it the bully of the Middle East, which it isn't anymore, they had a hard time going against that. I understand that. Now that Iran has been very much decimated in terms of their nuclear and in terms of their regular, because of the actions we took with those beautiful B-2 bombers and other things, people really want to come in, and so we are in very active discussions with the more traditional potential members of the Abraham Accords. The four originals are phenomenal, and they're doing really well. They're making a lot of money with trade and other things being in the Abraham Accords, and we're expanding it a little bit. When a few of these countries come in, that's a great expansion, and these are very substantial countries, so we consider that a great honor. It was brought to our attention that they wanted to do that, and we think that's great. So it's really an expansion of the Abraham Accords. Okay?
Hi, Mr.
Yeah, please go
President.
ahead.
Yes, thank you so much for your time, sir, on these important issues. I wanted to hear if you have an update on the Russian oil sanctions. We're seeing reports that the exports are way down. So how do you think that could affect the war in Ukraine, the United States' interests, and your partners here tonight, too?
Well, I can say that the exports from Russia are way down. We'd just like to see an end to the war. We'd love to see an end to that war. So many people are being killed. A lot of Russian soldiers are being killed. So we think at some point they're going to get very smart and they're going to do that. So yeah, the Russian exports are substantially down.
What is your Trump doctrine on foreign policies, in particular relation to South and Central Asia and China?
Well, look, we had a tremendous meeting, as you know, with President Xi in China, and my doctrine would be denuclearization, because we have enough nuclear. We're number one, Russia's number two, China's number three, way behind, but they'll be even in 4 or 5 years. They're, working overtime on nuclear weapons. I think that denuclearization would be a great thing. We could blow up the world 150 times. There's no need for this. So I really think we're going to have, I've spoken to President Putin about it, I've spoken to President Xi about it, and everybody would like to spend all of that money on other things, people that really, things that can benefit people now. So I think something like that could happen, the denuclearization. It's really, I want peace through strength, but we want peace all over the world, and we're very close to getting it. We had a lot of wars raging that people didn't know about. Now they're not raging anymore. We have one left, and we're going to hopefully get that taken care of. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Do you have an update on how soon that international stability force may be on the ground in Gaza?
Very soon. It's going to be very soon. And Gaza's working out very well. And you haven't been hearing too much about problems. And I'll tell you, we've had countries that have volunteered. If there's a problem with Hamas, as an example, or a problem with anything, but they volunteered to, on a single basis, go in and take care of it. We have very powerful countries in this coalition. And it's not, this is because I've heard some of the press saying, well, it's a very tentative, or it's not tentative. This is a very strong peace. This is peace in the Middle East. Hamas is a very small part of it, very, very small part. And if they don't do as they said, if they don't behave, then they've got themselves a big problem, a really big problem like they've never had. But so far, it seems to be working out very well. But that's a very small part of what we're talking about. That's a part of Gaza. You're going to have I think we can say, Marco, we have a very strong peace. This is a strong peace. We have many countries involved in the Middle East. Essentially, these countries are all involved. They want to see peace in the Middle East. And Marco, what would you say about that?
No, I think that's right, Mr. President. You deserve a tremendous amount of credit for making that possible. And now, I think the only reason why it's going to continue to happen is because of the President's role in this. So there's work being done at the United Nations now to come up with a resolution that creates the framework internationally so that these countries who are all volunteering, as you know, Mr. President, to be a part of the stabilization force can come aboard. But they need this UN mandate in order to be able to do it. And we've made a lot of progress over the last few days. And Jared Kushner and Steve Woodcock have been working very hard on that, and today was a good day on that front.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, please. Fox.
Will you discuss the Abraham Accords when you meet with the president of Syria?
Well, we're going to meet. and I think he's doing a very good job. It's a tough neighborhood, and he's a tough guy, but I got along with him very well, and a lot of progress has been made with Syria. That's a tough one, but a lot of progress has been made. You know, we took the sanctions off at the request of Turkey, at the request of actually Israel, at the request of a few different countries, and we took the sanctions off to give them a chance. And frankly, Iran has been asking if the sanctions could be lifted. Iran has got very heavy U.S. sanctions, and it makes it really hard for them to do what they'd like to be able to do. And I'm open to hearing that, and we'll see what happens, but I would be open to it. But we did take the sanctions off Syria in order to give them a fighting shot. And I think so far I think he's doing a very good job so far. Fox?
Mr. President, a federal judge said tonight that the administration has to fully fund SNAP. It's the latest in the back and forth, and the Justice Department said they're going to appeal it. What's your message to folks as they work this out in the courts and in Congress as we're heading into Thanksgiving?
You want to go over there?
Yeah, look, Jackie, it's an absurd ruling because you have a federal judge effectively telling us what we have to do in the midst of a Democrat government shutdown, which what we'd like to do is for the Democrats to open up the government. Of course, then we can fund SNAP, and we can also do a lot of other good things for the American people. But in the midst of a shutdown, we can't have a federal court telling the president how he has to triage the situation. We're trying to keep as much turned on. We're trying to keep as much going as possible. The president and the entire administration are working on that, but we're not going to do it under the orders of a federal judge. We're going to do it according to what we think we have to do to comply with the law, of course, but also to actually make the government work for people in the midst of the Democrat government shutdown. If they would like to end this, we would welcome working with them to end this government shutdown, and then we wouldn't have to triage what we're going to fund and what we're not going to fund. And the last thing that I'll say is the American people are unfortunately about to start suffering some very real consequences because of the shutdown. In the past, when you had a government shutdown, you would have, under the Obama administration, they would lean into all of the problems it was going to cause for the American people at the beginning of the shutdown. The president has told us to keep as much going as humanly possible, but after 30 days of this thing, 40 days of this thing, you're going to start seeing very real travel delays. That's because the Democrat government shut down. You're going to start seeing SNAP benefits run out. That's because the Democrat government shut down. They should stop this charade and open up the government. That's what we want them to do. We've been asking them to do it for 40 days. It's time.
And one other thing, our country has to remain very liquid because problems, catastrophes, wars, could be anything. We have to remain liquid. We can't give everything away based on a number. Here's an example. When I was president, the number that you're talking about was a tiny fraction of what it is now. Biden went totally crazy, gave it to anybody that would ask, gave it to people that were able-bodied, had no problem. Anybody that would ask would get the number, and it's many times the number of people are on. That wasn't meant for that. It was meant for people that had real problems, in many cases people that were down and out, people that could be saved. It wasn't meant for people that could do whatever they want, the people that say, well, I don't think I'll work, I'll just, collect this money. Take a look at the number, what it was during my administration and what it was during the Biden administration. It went up many, many times my first term. One other thing, a number came out today that was amazing. Walmart, I trust Walmart, Arkansas, great place, Arkansas, great company, Walmart. They announced today after many years, they do this every year for many years, that Thanksgiving for the United States of America under Donald Trump as president is 25% less for Thanksgiving meal with all the trimmings than it was under Sleepy Joe Biden's administration. So we talk about affordability. I think that's the best chart. That's better than a poll. That's better than anything I can think of. So Walmart, which everybody trusts, and I trust, and everybody trusts Walmart, they're not looking to do anything except give the numbers. And they have for many years. They talk about the cost of Thanksgiving and the cost of living through Thanksgiving and enjoying Thanksgiving. For Joe Biden, it was 25% more than it is for me at a later time. Our energy costs are way down. Our groceries are way down. Everything is way down. And the press doesn't report it. The press reports whatever the con people say. I called the Democrats con men and women. They make up numbers. But when you look at 25% reduction in costs for Thanksgiving between Biden and me, meaning this administration, that's a tremendous number. It's the biggest reduction in costs in the history of that chart or whatever it is they do. They do a synopsis of everything. They cover every element of Thanksgiving meals, 25% down. So I don't want to hear about the affordability, because right now we're much less. If you look at energy, we're getting close to $2 a gallon gasoline. With Biden, it was $4.50, $5. Another thing, inflation. We had the worst inflation in the history of our country. Now we have virtually no inflation at all. It's down at a very low number and a very normal number. So the affordability is much better with the Republicans. The only problem is the Republicans don't talk about it. And Republicans should start talking about it and use their heads, because we have great numbers. We have great, and they're going to only get better when all these jobs open up, all these factories open up that are being built all over our country. We are building auto plants. We're building AI plants. We're leading in AI over China and everybody else. When all of these plants start opening, we're going to have a revolution, a positive revolution, economic revolution like never before. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Wow. That was some conference. But I think that Trump, he expressed a lot that's going on. He feels as though during his administration that people are better off. More jobs are going to be coming in. But people are not buying it, for lack of a better word, because people need help right now. If you've been going to work and you've been working without a paycheck for going on like a month and more than a month, over a month, it's a problem now, because mortgage is due, rent is due, gas is, electric, phone bill, all your essentials, all those things will not wait. I've seen people online that are being evicted. These are working people. So when people say, oh, people don't work and they shouldn't be getting SNAP benefits, you have people that have living wage jobs that are hitting those food banks, and the food banks are running out of supplies, because now you have more people than ever that's going to the pantries. So you usually would have your few people, whatever, that would go, but now you have people that never had to go to a food bank that's going. And look at the time of year. We're going into the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. This is the time people want to travel. What's happening with the federal workers working for TSA? People going to work may be hungry. They don't have lunch money. You ever try to buy food at the airport? It's like going to Disney World prices for food. It's expensive. So they can't just go and buy a lunch, and they need money for gas. They need money for their kids, because most of the time it's not just me. People be like me. No, they have families and they have children, and you can't look at that child and say, well, they see you going to work every day and you got this 6, 8, 10-year-old say, well, Mom, how come there's no food in the refrigerator? How come we got to go to food pantry? How come you're crying because you can't feed us? These are real life situations that people, when they are multimillionaires, which all the congressmen and women are, there's no one broke that's working in Congress, they're not faced with these dilemmas. So both parties can hold out until the sun fall out the sky.
And they're getting paid way more than their salary.
And they never stop getting paid.
Yeah.
Their health care is still being taken care of. All the congressmen and women in the House, the Senate, and the president, everyone still can collect their paychecks. Go ahead.
Nancy Pelosi net worth. Her net worth was
like $132 million or something, like Nancy Pelosi, who just announced today that she's not going to run for re-election. So she's retiring. So she's retiring right now. I don't know how many years she served this government, but she's not going to run again for re-election. So I think that they need to hear from the American people. You got all these AI videos that's trying to act like it's black people on food stamps and all of that, when it's not. Black people do get assistance. Like, welfare wasn't made for black people. It was made for actually white people, to be honest. It was in 1935 or 39. Black people weren't even able to get any welfare benefits not until 1964 or 65. I mean, we weren't even able to vote prior to that. So is they have these videos and they're not really showing America is hurting all Americans regardless of your ethnicity. It's white, Hispanics, then blacks, then Asians, and indigenous. That's the order. But when mainstream media want to have these fake now AI videos and they trying to say like black people are an assistance or they welfare queens, that's a lie. That everyone needs help. Life is a roller coaster. And there are many people that needed assistance that no longer need it now, but you're not supposed to turn your back on those who do. Because what they receive is only a max of $146 a month because their jobs, because they are the working poor. Their jobs cannot pay their rent, their gas, their electric, their phone bill, because everybody has have a cell phone. They can't and take care of their children. And you're making $8 or $9 an hour. You don't work 8 hours. You only make $72, and they tax that. That's why they don't have any money. They're working. That's why we have unions. That's why that's what labor fights for. Living wage jobs. And those federal jobs that they fire people from being middle class. And so they just want the rich and the poor, I guess. So we got to be mindful because you're doing well. That doesn't mean that you turn your back and say, well, I got to go to work. Well, there are people going to work that are not getting paid. And you have vets that serve this country that lost their federal jobs, that are homeless, that had their homes removed off of the streets of Washington. And nobody talks about what happened to those people. You have disabled that's on, people have accidents. You could be walking around, getting on your motorcycle, riding your motorcycle. You have an accident. Now you don't have the ability to walk. It happens every day. So life happens to people. And sometimes you need help. And a lot of times, the way families are so jacked up now that when you need them, they're not even helping one another, not even your own family. So you have to be able to hold your own. So you need to guard your money, be a giver. Because God said, give and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, running over. And the same measure you meet shall be measured unto you again. So if you're lacking anything, give to others. Because you can't outdo God in giving. I learned that about God the hard way. When I was going through things with my job years ago, I would take the little I had and God would multiply it. I never lacked any good thing. And that's when I learned that God is Jehovah Jireh, my Lord, my provider. So you learn that when you have nothing, who your provider really is. It's not man, it's God. But you gotta stop. There's so many people I've seen in the chat before. Oh, well, they not working. Stop judging people. There's only one judge, and that's God. Just be thankful it's not your turn. You're not one of those people that need help. That's something to celebrate and be grateful and thankful. And not to step on somebody else because they're down. That's what people do. They step on others who down. That don't make you bigger or better, ever.
Mike, well, what you're doing is you're deflecting. You're still ignoring who also is on EBT.
Yeah, they're acting like they're faulting people for needing help. They're not taking care of them.
Yeah, he said.
And to be honest, the illegal immigrants got more than any American ever has gotten. We're talking about Americans. And y'all fussing about Americans. I want my tax dollars to support Americans. It supported Ukraine, and it supported all those homeless, 14 million plus homeless illegal immigrants came into this country. That was off our dime, and they were getting luxury apartments and $13,000. They were getting thousands of dollars on SNAP, but now and welfare. But now we talk about Americans, and now everybody got something to say. It should go to us.
Yeah, he said, as if you take 13% of the population and you're 8% of EBT. That's a pretty high number.
You know what? You listen to news too much. Because you want to label black people. That's what you're saying. But white people are the leaders in SNAP benefits. And SNAP is white people. white people, white women were the leaders in diversity, equity, inclusion, DEI. See, mainstream media have you brainwashed. That's why I'm so glad for social media, that all those freaking lies can be debunked now. They want to let you think that, let me show you this, because they want to let you think, believe lies. That makes you feel better when you white. You run off those statistics. I got something for you.
So lately I've been seeing a lot of people making the false claim that Black Americans are the largest recipients of welfare in the United States. And that's just not true. Whites overwhelmingly make up the largest beneficiaries of welfare programs in the United States. But this data can tell us something super important about welfare policy in the United States. More importantly, it talks about the history and systemic racism. Let's get into it.
Thank you.
White Americans make up about 56% of the U.S. population, but only about 43% of welfare recipients. That means they are underrepresented in this data. Also, Black Americans only make up about 14% of the U.S. population, but 23% of welfare recipients, which means they are overrepresented. What's going on? So this is where then we start getting into the history of the United States, in particular the history of systemic racism, starting with slavery, because the history of slavery left many generations of Black Americans in extreme poverty with no way to get out of it. And at no point did the United States ever do anything to rectify that situation. Immediately following slavery, we entered Jim Crow. And Jim Crow had policies like redlining, which prevented Black Americans from finding success. So let's talk about what redlining was. When people would go to borrow money from banks, banks would literally look at the neighborhood they lived in to determine whether or not they got a loan. They would have neighborhoods marked in green and neighborhoods marked in red. Take a wild guess at who lived in those neighborhoods that were marked in red. Also, at the same time that this was happening, the United States government offered several $1 million, which would be several billion today, to homeowners to fix up their homes or their neighborhoods or to buy new homes. Only 2% of that money was made available to Black Americans. Redlining ensured that Black Americans could not escape the impoverished neighborhoods that they had been trapped in. But it also ensured that white Americans could always escape poverty, which is why white Americans are underrepresented here. Now, prior to the 1964 Civil Rights Act, America really believed in welfare. We thought that welfare was a great thing because Black Americans could not get it. So, for instance, coming back from World War II, Black Americans were just overwhelmingly denied the GI Bill. They could not get the GI Bill. They could not get small business loans or homeowners loans, even if they served their country in World War II. But going back to welfare, when white America was able to just give it to white America, we really believed in it. We thought that if a woman lost her husband for any reason, whether he died, whether he ran away, whether he divorced her, she should be allowed to stay home and take care of her children and not have to work, that her house should be paid for, that she should have a salary, that her food should be paid for her kids and the doctor's visits. And we paid for that as part of the aid to needy families. But then the 1964 Civil Rights Act happened, and suddenly Black mothers were also eligible for the same welfare benefits. And suddenly we see a shift where white America says, we are building a nation of entitlement, and we have to cut welfare spending. And so this move shifts from women being able to stay home and take care of their kids to TANF, which is temporary assistance to needy families. And that really makes it harder on families where you actually make less money if you work because you're not getting paid very much and you don't get as many benefits. So this sets up a system where people can't get the assistance that they need. And this is by design. In the 1930s, when the first welfare acts were put into place, one of those was the aid to families with dependent children. That was part of the 1935 Social Security Act. At the time, the Dixiecrats said that they would rather all of their people starve than Black Americans get any of those benefits. And so when Black Americans began to get those benefits, they decided they would rather their people starve again, and that's the mode of welfare that we have today. So myths like these are just used to uphold that racism, to paint it like it's Black Americans' fault that, welfare is being paid out, because the white Americans who created the welfare policies don't want Black Americans to have it, and they would rather punish their own poor white citizens than allow Black people to flourish.
Wow. Facts. See, I like it when there's honest. That's why I love social media now, because
Okay,
instead
white
of
farmers are the new
mainstream
blacks. Now, before
media and all these people that have been all these years that want to say all the lies and facts, it wasn't even created for black people welfare. We weren't even allowed to even get any assistance from the government, not until 1964.
Mike Anderson, I'm gonna need your source of that information.
You know, it's like this man just read off everything, the journey of black Americans. This was intentional to try to keep us poor, but those opportunities and everything is not even given to black people.
No, Mike Anderson, what y'all did was steal this country from the Native Americans, is what y'all did.
But they have so much to say. Even when they hear the truth will set you free. That's not even coming from a black person. That's coming from a white man. And it has a different tone to it when it comes from white people that are honest, that are saying what's going on. Because the mainstream media keeps giving you fake, funky numbers, and then you go, well, they're 13% in there. No, but we're not the majority of getting it with our numbers, and we're denied more than anyone else. I think that illegal immigrants, y'all ain't have a problem giving them billions of dollars of our taxpayer money. Y'all don't say anything about them. Y'all good with that. But when Americans need help, it's like the sky is falling. The sky is falling. It's sad. You know how many people are suffering? There's more white people suffering right now than are black people, because we're resilient. We're used to the injustice and mistreatments and the lies. But we will survive. But they're saying, how are black people making it out? Why they're not crying and stuff? And the media, and now we got AI, they try to even make AI, it's like black people are running in and taking food and all that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. But that's what they want you to believe, because that makes white people who are less fortunate, it makes them feel good that, oh, well, it's hurting the black people more. As long, like President Johnson said, if you let them think, the poor white people, if you let them think they're doing better than the black person, then you can pick their pockets and they give you whatever they have.
I'm about to just get rid of this guy. Now he's saying, I've been to the projects all over this country. Trust me, I know this number.
He doesn't know. You know what? The thing about it is that you better hope that God gives you grace and mercy. Because, see, you into pigmentation, right? And I'm only having discussion because we need to know the truth and these lies. But you want to hold on to a lie because it makes you feel superior. It's all about superiority. It's all about, if I step on them, then that makes me feel bigger. When you're not bigger than any of us. We're the apple of God's eye. And you need to understand, God created the human race. So if you don't like pigmentation and you don't like people being different or looking different, take it up with God. Take it up with God. And if you think that you're going to stand before God and say, well, God, I'm white, so you're supposed to give me a pass into heaven, it is not going to work, because you're not going to like heaven, because all of us of all different creeds and colors are going to be there. So you don't like what God created.
Okay, wait, I'm going to need your source for that. Then you just saying that, and you're saying that that's true. I'm going to need your source.
So I don't waste energy is in denial. Why are you in, they're in denial because they have nothing. Only people talk like that are broke and they have nothing and you're in need. Like what you're one of the ones that the way that you feel better is if you feel like you have more than someone else when you don't have anything, because if you did, you wouldn't talk like that. People that got it going on, they don't have to flaunt what they have. They don't have to put other people down because they got it like that. So that's showing you have nothing. You don't even have integrity. You don't even have character. You don't even have the basic humanity that you should have for all God's people. Because there is a heaven and a hell. And you're going to go to it's either or you're going to go to.
Like you said, there's no sections in heaven.
There's no white section in heaven. Only white. So you could make your only white towns. You could do an only white whatever. But it's not like that in heaven. So you better enjoy your time here while you think that you're better than someone else, because you're certainly not better than any of us. God said he's no respecter of person. That's all in your head. As long as you think you had someone to look down, this has been going on so long. We are not our ancestors. Black people today, we're not our ancestors. We are not just barely making it. We are successful. Everybody has people in their community that are less fortunate. That's in every community. Every community. But Fox News, I'll call them out, they just want to show you black, but they don't show you white on white crime. They don't show you white poverty. They don't show you all the white people that are suffering because they're not getting their SNAP benefits. And there's more poor white people and are going through it than black people by far. And we know how to make it. This stuff been going on for 400 years. For us, it's nothing new. But what I like now is that the truth can be exposed. But you can stay in bubble land because obviously it makes you feel more superior. It makes you feel better if you think you're doing better than someone else. I'm not like that. I want everyone to do well. Yeah, I don't have to pump myself up by putting someone else down beneath my feet. I just think that that's so immoral. I think it's shameful to feel like you can't even be a decent human being. You could keep your money. Nobody's asking you for offerings. Nobody asking you to give. But you can't even give. Caring is free. It's free. But you're not even big enough to care.
Mike wants
and that's free.
He wants to live in delusion. See his
well, it's okay.
Yeah.
We can agree to disagree. They can stay in bubble land all they want to, but the rest of us know the truth. And the truth will set you free. And the lies that have been told forever are coming to the surface because the truth will manifest. So all those lies that they want you to believe, they're being debunked. It's too much social media. And look, you can ask AI all this. You can fact check everything. So that's what I like about the time we're living in is because we have a voice now. We don't have to just listen to ABC, CBS, NBC, Meet the Morning Press, Fox News, all these other the newspaper. Now we have X, formerly known as Twitter. We have Instagram. We have Facebook. We have TikTok. We have so many. We have Instagram. It goes on and on. We have ground news. That's what I invest in knowledge. I have ground news. I pay for that. And they show you with how the right field and the left. And I like to see the differences of opinion. That's what this show is about. It's non-biased. We want to hear the difference of opinions. But when I see people that want to belittle others because you happen to be doing well right now, oh, well, that will change one day because life is a roller coaster. One day you're doing well, and the only thing it takes is for you to lose your job, and you be in the same boat as everyone else. So you need to be grateful if you got a roof over your head, you got running water, because people are living in their cars tonight, people are living on the streets tonight, in vans tonight, okay? People are not eating tonight more than ever. Out of 42 million people, how many of them are going to sleep without any food? Those food pantries only have but so much. They're not prepared for 42 million people. So just be blessed. You need to know that you're blessed. And we're supposed to be blessed to be a blessing. Give. If you see someone you can help, don't be like that person that want to talk about statistics. Don't fill your stomach. Statistics don't pay for your health care. It doesn't matter when you need it. Let your humanity shines through. I don't care what nationality you are. We should be helping one another.
And making up statistics too.
Yeah. Like, what does that matter if you don't use, what is that going to do for you?
No source.
But I'm glad that we can find out the truth and we're not governed by what people keep telling us. People, they rattle off that one thing, but we're going to completely ignore who's affected the most. We're going to completely ignore that. We're going to ignore all that. Let's just go down to the black people. Not the Hispanics who's at a higher level needing SNAP. Let's go down to the black people.
No, Eric.
Let's forget about the Asians and everybody else. It's always white and black.
Eric, I see it hurts your feelings, but this is stolen land, dude.
But it's okay. You're going to be all right. Because God's going to humble you. And He going to let you know that He is God. There's only one God. He going to let you know. Regardless who you think you serve or whoever you call God, there is a God. Ours is Jesus. We're Christians.
Okay, wait, where's your numbers to that? How many people are being on EBT because they don't want to
I
work?
just put on a video. If they didn't receive that, and he broke it down, so they're completely ignoring it. So I couldn't have said it better myself. So you refuse to receive knowledge. I hope your kids are learning in school because you're refusing knowledge. I mean, I just put a whole video, and he went from how it came about, the welfare system, Jim Crow, the suppression of black. He went through the whole 9 yards, and you still didn't hear anything. God give him an ear to hear in your heart. It's sad. It's sad. People are so miserable in this day and time that as long as somebody else is suffering more than them, then they good. I'm good because I'm doing better than that person.
Well, how you say your name? Nelly O. Media's Touch is just one big hate account for Trump. We know about that account. All they do, they're just one-sided. That's why I like AI, because it's not one-sided, because it's not a person.
It's a robot.
Yeah. Like Fox News also is one-sided.
Yeah, Fox News is one-sided. A lot of your news sources, they're one-sided, and that's not good for Americans. But I don't understand why people feel some type of way about Americans needing help. But I didn't hear the outpour when 14 plus million people came into this country homeless. They came with nothing. Y'all heard all the billions. I don't even know how much. It might be 50 billion been given to them. I don't even know the numbers. I know they're staggering. But nobody said nothing about, everybody was hearing about them luxury apartments and cars and EBT cards, and they were giving them debit cards, and they were giving them food, SNAP benefits, college education, Medicare, Medicaid. Some of them had gotten Social Security that they said they couldn't get. You know, but nobody had nothing to say about all that. But now Americans need assistance off of our tax dollars. Then it's cry me a river, right?
It's World War III.
Yeah, it's like the sky is falling that Americans need assistance. Shame on you. Shame on. Then you got something to say. But you got all these people that came in this country that didn't work here, didn't pay into our tax system. I'm talking about the ones that came in the last 4 years, not the ones that have been here 20 years. Those 14 plus million that came in the last 4 years did not earn jack. But y'all ain't had no problem giving them my reparations. They were trying to get a whole nother voting block. That's a whole nother story with the Democratic Party. But my thing is focused on Americans. And I don't understand why. Or maybe they not Americans. Maybe that's what it is. Because you got foreigners don't want Americans to get any of our taxpayer money. And they've been here the last 4 years getting our money. They might be on here saying, don't get Americans anything. Because I heard that. It was a guy in Chicago. They're giving them all their taxpayer money. And the immigrant was saying, nothing for you. Nothing for you. Nothing for you. See that y'all I ain't hear when Biden was in office, there were no rallies, there was no outcry, there was no outpouring. It wasn't one rally. He was on vacation 40% of his presidency. Nobody said a damn word. The borders were wide open. Everybody came into this country. Nobody said a damn thing about giving out our taxpayer money.
No, Nelly, what I'm saying is tell me an unbiased source. Let me clarify, an unbiased source. Media's Touch is one big hate account for Trump. Fox News is one big account that's in support of Trump. Give me an unbiased source.
And they hate everybody that's not white.
Yeah, just give an unbiased source. That's why like AI is great because
And ground news.
And ground news. You know, an unbiased source. You know, because like I don't want to hear it like, okay, well they said this here, but it's an account that's in a favor of just one side. No, I want the middle ground. That's why like I use AI a lot, and we use ground news, so it's not any bias there.
But people feel great as long as they got somebody that's doing worse than them. I've never been that type of person that I don't have to step on somebody else to build myself
Yeah,
up.
and K-Way, you're just making claims up now about EBT.
Why? I don't understand why you even give them energy, or
Because they say
who
crazy
cares
stuff.
what they did. I just put a video on that broke it down, and that broke everything down.
They said something else. They said that parents are having kids just to be on EBT.
Nobody, EBT does not fund or give stability to have kids to just be on it. The average family is getting $146 a month. Family. How is that? Who, you know how much it costs to raise a child? That's a lot from hell. That's below poverty, what they're getting. No, see, those are the stereotypes. They say, oh, people just on it just to get food stamps. People need help. People always picking other people's pockets. But you might need it one day.
That's crazy.
And see, life goes around in a circle. The people that have something to say, don't be surprised when it happens to you. That's all. They'll find out the hard way.
You said like a really good point. It's like when you talk about the legal immigrants, it goes in one ear out the other.
One ear out the other. It's talking about the illegal immigrants. They talking about Americans and the sky is falling. Are y'all okay? Are you okay? How, if people on here are Americans, you can't be talking about it's wrong to help Americans when we help the whole freaking world. We gave Ukraine $350 billion. We just gave Argentina during this freaking shutdown $40 million. Where's y'all? What you got to say about that? Y'all just sound ridiculous. It's okay to get millions we get billions around the world, even now, and we're not helping our own. And y'all crying because Americans needing help with our taxpayer dollars, but our taxpayer dollars are used for just about every country in the goddamn world?
There's just some selfish people out here.
But it's just insanity. We help the world. When somebody have a hurricane, or what happened in Jamaica, or what happened in other parts of the world, we send all the aid. We send aid to everybody. But the people here, you got something to say? But you had nothing to say about $40 billion going to Argentina, $350 billion going to Ukraine, billions going to Gaza, and Israel, Iran, all around the world. All around the world. Y'all know we've given so much that we have $37 trillion of debt. But it's not for us. It's not being given to us. So y'all need to think about it when y'all got something to say. And we help people. You'll hear the president coming on, and all presidents do this, about how, just like President Trump did, 40 million, and we got to shut down. And we don't want to help Americans. But that's taxpayer money that they sending. To bail them out, help them. Who sends money to help Americans? I'll wait. You know, so people, they don't say nothing about all the aid. And y'all know it's true. We help the world. And y'all crying about helping Americans. It's disgusting. That's why I started this channel, Speak the Truth 2.0. Because y'all need to be put in check. Y'all are wrong. I want my money to go to helping my fellow citizen, regardless of race. They deserve it. Until they get back on their feet. Nobody's trying to get assistance. It's no money. It's nothing. They can't live off of that. Or maybe they could back, and you can't live off of that. You have to work. You have to get something. And even if they didn't, we still support the world. So I don't want to hear all of that. Y'all so busy worrying about pigmentation that y'all not looking at that we all Americans, but we help all these non-citizens. Get out of here. We have all not one peep during Biden's whole freaking term. 4 years. Not one rally. No Kings, no 50, 51, no type of no outrage, no nothing.
You're being confused.
Nothing.
You're being confused because no one is bashing other countries.
Nothing. Well, this is America. We're not talking about, we said we can help other countries and non-citizens and people here. They got more of a problem helping Americans than the rest of the world. Our money is supposed to be for us. That's who's supposed to be helped. You help. I'm gonna help my household before I help yours. We're supposed to take care of our house first. The United States is our house. We're supposed to take care of our people first, but we don't. And then when we need help, people got something to say. But you don't have nothing to say about the billions that we give to everybody else. People's hearts are cold. They're very cold. Their own fellow citizens. But not one damn I didn't hear nothing when Biden was in office. Those people crossing by the millions, they were homeless coming here. Who helped them? We did. Did they have money? Did they have food? Did they have clothing? Did they have housing? Did they have health care? They got all of our stuff. And y'all didn't say one damn word. Not a word. And now Americans need $145 a month. And they're the working poor, vets, disabled. Y'all better get out them telling y'all this black people and all that. That's fake. That's fake freaking news.
Biden did not do a good job. I could tell you would say that because you watched Media's Touch.
Midas Touch?
No,
It's Media Touch?
Yeah. There's a channel that speaks out
Oh.
against Trump.
You know, so it's a lot of things have been done by both parties. That's come. I decided now to be an independent. I mean, it's just terrible on both parties. Can't win. We need another party. We need a party that's actually for Americans and not about being Republican or Democrat, being about Americans. We giving for everybody else except for our own people. And it's our money. Nobody asked me if they could give $40 billion to Argentina. That's our money. We weren't asked. It's just they take our money. But then Americans need help and there's none for you. And then people got something to say about it. They mad about Americans getting help. I'm done. I'm done. I will go to town for this. I'm going to do more shows like this because people need to wake up. You got all these Americans trying to say who's doing better. As long as I'm doing better than black people, I'm poor, but I'm doing better than them. Why everybody's suffering? That makes you feel better. While we take care of the world. We're all Americans. All of us. We need to see that. We got to stop allowing these politicians to divide us. As long as we fighting each other, they getting wealthy and nobody's caring about everyday people. That's why people going without food and getting paid right now. They don't care. Just go to work without getting paid.
Nelly, it seems like you're the mad one because you've been spamming comments the whole time.
You know, so it's amazing. They hear. The truth hurts.
Yeah, now
that when people do that, the truth hurts. They know it's true. There's nothing I have said and that's not true. Nothing. We need to help one another, Americans, and we can help the rest of the world. And we can help non-citizens that came into this country. We can help each other, and we should. And all those that want to think that the only people that got something to say is people who have nothing. Because they want to feel better about themselves if they think they have more than you. So if you have a roof over your head, you have more than most of the world. Okay? You're blessed to be here in the United States of America, but we need to work together. We need to work together. That's what we need to do. And we need to care about one another. That's free. Because y'all cheap. Y'all don't want to pay for nothing. So caring is free. So stop trying to step on others when you can simply keep your money in your pocket, keep your negative comments to yourself, and maybe show a little care for somebody else other than yourself. Because these same people, when something happened to their children, to their mother, to one of their loved ones, or to themselves, they want everybody to care. Show some care. That's all. You could do that for free. Show some care. Show some care so you could be blessed to be a blessing. Pray for people. You don't always have to give your money. Pray for those who are less fortunate. God said pray for those who persecute you and say all things against you. You got to pray for people. You got to pray for the president.
I mean, just imagine these people's view on like homeless Americans.
They think homeless vets that are out there probably are calling them lazy, and people that they got bipolar and schizo, so they got all these, they need the drugs just so that they can function. They're not getting no medical help, no medical care. They on the streets, they done lost their minds. They've been out there so long, and you want to step over them and think that they're beneath you. But some of those people were professors. They were military. They were all different professions. Everybody that's out there didn't start from the streets.
Doctors.
They had homes. Yeah, they had homes. All your homeless wasn't always homeless. They weren't born homeless. Things happen in their lives. You know, so be careful when you try to put down people. I just feel like it's so wrong.
Oh,
It's wrong.
Stanley said, God bless you.
God bless you.
Bless you.
God bless you. You know, we got to do better as people of God. People of God. God is first. That's who's first. It's God is first. And we got to do better.
Now, K-Way's going back on what he said. Now he's saying, oh, yeah, the vets do need that help because they fought for this country.
They fought for this country. Give some grace.
Yeah.
Give some grace. Those federal workers that lost their jobs because of Elon coming in, they didn't make a dent in the national debt.
Oh.
But those were vets. This is what happens. People serving the military go into federal jobs because they can carry their annual leave and their sick time and seniority into the federal jobs. And they lost their jobs.
Well, Mike, to reply to what you just said, just read what Kevin Patrick, his comment. He said, I don't mind my tax helping other Americans because regardless of some taking advantage of it, it's there to help real, genuine people that need help.
That's
just
it.
read that comment.
That's right. You're going to see someone in the street, oh, you're not going to give it to them? Like, where are they going? They got to eat every day. And so they buy something to drink. If you lived out on the street, you'd rather be drunk the whole time too. I don't fault them. But you give and do the best you can. Go buy them some food. Buy them some shoes. Buy them a coat, a sweater. You know, things that are tangible to be outside.
Yeah.
Buy them a sleeping bag. Yeah. Buy them a tent. Buy them something. Winter is coming. Yeah. And people die during the winter that's out there on those streets.
Yeah, his argument was that people are taking advantage of EBT.
You can't worry about that. Let the government do what they're supposed to do. They not just letting anybody get, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
It was someone that was on there from the government. Just so it's not easy to get the assistance. They got to jump through hoops. It's not just given to them. They got to prove that they need. It's a lot of stuff they got to go through to get it. It's not just given. But we freely gave it to non-citizens that came in. They didn't even have ID. They had nothing. They could fly the airlines without ID. They let them drive cars and they couldn't even read English. That's why we're having so many accidents. y'all don't give grace to your own American citizens. There's something wrong with that. But anyway, you guys, don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe. We only got 27 likes. It's 41 people. Can we please get these likes up? YouTube has changed how they do the live streams now. They done jacked it up. So I got to figure out, because we usually have hundreds of thousands of people on our lives, but what they're doing is a new system that they have that's going on, and they're not really sending out, it's no longer like on the short feeds, and so people can find your channel. So in order to find us, we're going to try to set up a day, like say every Friday at 4 o'clock, so we can be consistently on, that you know how to find us. We might do like Fridays at 4 every day, but we're going to come up with a time. I don't know if that's it yet, because I got to look at the analysis to see when most of the subscribers are watching. And so that I can start out with one day. Well, we'll still be popping up, but I want to have one day we consistently, that that you can come on and you can Speak the Truth, our live stream 2.0. So don't forget to hit those like, share, subscribe. It does help it helps the channel to go out. We're not making money, we're not asking for monetary, but we want the channel to grow. That's like a goal. You have to have goals in life. I like the challenge. So it's just a challenge, and we're thankful. We've been about just a year, and we got over 35,000 subscribers. So anyway, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe.
I just got a reply. Joe Biden has already done enough burying to this country. He's saying that Trump is ruining this country and stuff.
Well, look, everybody, we need some real. I just wish that someone would be about all Americans. Not just the rich or not just the poor, not just one ethnicity, but be for all Americans. That's what I hope will happen one day. That there'll be a party or people that actually getting elected to office that actually are about the American citizens. We have the Democrats care more about non-citizens. They don't care nothing about the black community, what's going on. They don't care nothing about American citizens. Then you got the Republican Party. They never even needed, per se, the black vote, but now they going in the direction of the Democrats. I thought the Democrats were supposed to be the good people. They were wolves in sheep clothing. So I'm looking at both parties got issues. Both parties. Nobody's exempt. And that's why this channel is here, so that we can speak the truth, hold people accountable. There's things Trump do that I agree with, and there's things he does that I don't, and I say it. So nobody's 100% going along with either party. And that's the beautiful thing about this channel. And you don't have to go along with everything your own party is doing. I've been Democrat and voting Republican both. And I'm black, so I've been both. But now I decided to become an independent, because everybody is doing American citizens. And they not taking care of any of us, neither party.
Like I would have been more like ready to vote for, but look at Jack for New Jersey governor, but look at the things he was talking about, because I'm a Republican, but look at what he was saying.
Yeah, I think we need to focus. Yeah, I heard you. Yeah, it was disturbing. It's so disturbing. I think we need to focus on. I think we need to focus on the government in the House now. Yeah, the one thing I agree that he did the what? That he did the gender thing. That's the only thing I agree. Yeah, the gender thing. See, there's some things in both parties. Like, I'm not into running a campaign on eliminating babies, aborting babies. I'm not into same-sex marriages. I'm not into that party mutilating children. They're not even old enough to even drive, or they in elementary school and they're changing their sex. They haven't even gone to puberty. They haven't even grown up to make those decisions. I'm not into a lot of that stuff that party represent. I think if you're going to determine that type of lifestyle, at least allow them to be an adult. That they're not old enough to drive, they're not old enough to drink, they're not old enough to go to a club, then they should not be making decisions on their bodies, trying to confuse them. God doesn't make mistakes. When they're born, their sex is declared when they're born. There's only 2 genders. Nobody can recreate what God has done. There's not a doctor on this earth will ever be able to grow a penis on a woman. Ever. And there's no man on earth. He could chop his penis off, get rid of his testicles. They cannot make a vagina. It's not going to happen, people. So whatever you want it to be, if you in the same sex, don't allow them to mutilate your bodies, because they cannot change you into something that you're not. They can't do it. And I hate for what happens to transgenders is they put them on, after they mutilate their bodies like Frankenstein doctors, then they on all these medications for the rest of their lives. They're going through pain and depression. They're more depressed afterwards, especially the children. And you'll go on YouTube, you'll see a lot of them, they're like suing the doctors for what was allowed to be done to them before they were old enough to make these decisions. If you're a grown behind person and you make the decision, then that's your right. But now I'm talking about the children. But I'm telling even adults that's thinking about, they can't change your gender. Just be happy who you are. You want us to believe what you are not, but you don't believe what you are. So we got to do better. And we got to be better Americans. And we got to love everyone. This is not talking against gay people or transgender. It's just the truth. Don't let these doctors butcher you. Don't let them do that. Because they can't put that penis back. They can't recreate. Only God is the only creator. And they can't imitate God. They will never be able to imitate God. So Jesus be back before that happens. So anyway, you guys, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to hit those likes, share, and subscribe. It'd be great if we could at least get it up to 40 likes. We do appreciate it. Thank you for giving us your time. And we're going to try to be consistently coming on here because we got to build it back up with this new system. So we got to work a little harder to build our base up. But we're here. And we're going to be bringing people on because we want to hear from you, people that can keep a cool head and speak in a clear, concise manner. We're going to open up the show that we'll have guests on and we could talk about these issues. That might be a contest we're going to do, to the subscribers, put their name in a hat and, allow them to come on, the people who are loyal to the show. So anyway, thanks, guys. And like I said, don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe. Tell people about Speak the Truth 2.0. Thanks for joining us. God bless you. And y'all take care. Peace out.